Welcome back to more Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness. Last time we started our save file and went through some dungeons and joined the guild. This time, we are gonna continue being Chadod's bitch and, you know, do some more stuff. Well, we're still in the early part of the game, so we're still just kind of getting our hand held and getting railroaded pretty hard, but it's mostly like after these, like, this dungeon and then the next one is when you finally get let off the leash, but it's still gonna be a while. Yeah, anyway, time for outlaw missions as well. Also, I feel like I'm an idiot, because this is something I didn't really notice until recently, but I, like, well, you can't see it right now, but the bulletin board on the left clearly has like a wooden frame, but this one is like embedded in the wall and it has like a stone frame, and I don't know why, but in my mind I kind of just always glossed over this as being like an orange wooden frame. I don't know, I think I'm a dumbass, despite the fact they like have a whole, you know, art spread of it on the top screen like that, and they have the whole cutscene where, you know, they show the logistics of how new missions get put up there. Like, they put a lot of emphasis on that, and my dumbass kind of just glossed over it the entire time. Maybe I'm just, like, you know, an idiot or something. I mean, I am, but I don't know. Just thought it was funny. Anyway, other than, you know, this mandatory outlaw mission you do as part of the story, we're gonna be ignoring outlaws for a while, because if you played this game, you probably know that if you try to start fighting outlaws right away, you will just get your shit kicked in. Like, you definitely need better stats and better moves to be able to handle them. And an interesting thing about the outlaw missions is that they added some new mission types in Sky. One of them being outlaws who will, like, they'll spawn in, and then they will start trying to run away to the stairs. I don't believe that mission type is in this game. I think the only outlaw-related missions are just you spawn near the outlaw and you start beating them up. An interesting fact, by the way, about those running away outlaw missions is that apparently if the outlaw is a Pokemon that has teleport, so like Naotu or Abra or something, they'll actually immediately use teleport before you get to make a move. But after that, they'll just start running back to the stairs as normal. I imagine somebody out there probably got jump scared by like that and probably just rage quit and threw their DS after that stupid shit happened to them. You know, sure, I'm glad that wasn't me. Anyway, I know there's another outlaw mission type where it's like, when you get to the destination floor, like you spawn in a monster house or something. I don't remember if those are in this game. Obviously most of my playtime in Explorers is just Sky, because, you know, like I said last episode, it just completely obsoletes Time in Darkness, but about 2 years ago now, like January 2024, for whatever reason I ended up just doing another playthrough of Darkness, because I figured, like, you know what, fuck it, I haven't touched this game in an extremely long time, and it would be, you know, interesting and, you know, insightful to just play through and look at all the differences. Which, again, is kind of the purpose of this Let's Play and why I'm playing of Darkness, is I really just want to... I'd like to document some more of the changes. Maybe not document. I'm sure the stuff is documented out there. Not that anyone really cares. Because, you know, everybody is obsessed with fucking Sky and Riolu and Eevee and fucking Grovyle and shit, but I'm, you know, getting sidetracked. I don't know. This is something that was kind of throwing me off as well when recording this. Is like, I want to mention the community of this game as I play, because I've interacted with it. It's just that, like, I'm hesitant to do so because I'm really not sure I have anything nice to say about it. But I'm just gonna cut that line of thinking short and just, you know, focus on the game more. Not that I think this is gonna... Nah, I'm just going on about shit that's irrelevant. Anyway, as you can see, we can actually finally see the town now. And when we get to the screen to the right here, well, still more scenes to worry about, but there's some more immediately noticeable differences in this game compared to Sky that we will get to. Yeah. First of all, we didn't get that much money. It'll be a while before we get a lot of money, although you don't need that much money in this game. What do you want? Does it let you in here yet? No. There's some interesting stuff about the dojo in this game that I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of, and whenever we get access to the dojo, I do want to show it, because it is, again, it's interesting. But it's just, Oh, I didn't realize we were actually allowed to go over here so soon. Funny thing here is the collision with this bush here. You can see other walls are like you can see if you walk up and right into them, you'll kind of brush up against them. But you might notice that it doesn't work like that for the bush over here. You kind of just get stuck on it. And I mean, if you've played this game before, you know there's something behind that bush. If I had to guess why, I'm guessing the bush object is something that, like... I don't really actually know how that works. But I imagine collision with, like, kind of objects that are inserted directly onto the map, as opposed to being, you know, like, baked into them, like the ground and stuff. I imagine the collision is kind of weird. I don't know, it's just an interesting observation. Keep going, though, yeah, the Shuppet portrait is very cute. Who are pretty based, by the way. And I forget the Vigoroth is here. I mean, most of the town NPCs, you know, are kind of charming, but they don't really matter. Fuck the Keck Market. We'll get there when we get there. They definitely improved the UI of... Well, they kind of improved it. I don't know. The storage and rescue team, you could, like... Every item stacked in your storage. To kind of demonstrate what I mean by that. I'll keep my hands on the vitamins. I'll just chug them when I get into a dungeon. Yeah, you can see when you put stuff in storage. Like, I put... Okay, well, you can't see it because I didn't put any duplicates in there. But basically, in Rescue Team, duplicate items in the storage will actually get put into a stack. The annoying thing about that is the fact you can only take out one at a time. And, well, you don't really have to worry about that in this game, but it's because items in the storage don't stack, and storage will probably become an issue later on. Probably, depending on how I play my cards here. Shit, there's nothing really interesting in the story, I don't think. I'm gonna be real, I kinda just glossed over that, but... At this point in the game, we're so fucking broke that there's not really anything worth buying anyway, which... I think that's how Mystery Dungeon works for most of it, is you're just picking up whatever crap you find along the way. It's pretty rare, unless you, like, completely run out of, like, escape orbs or apples somehow. It's pretty rare that you'd ever really need to buy supplies. It takes a bit to get some Reviver Seeds, though. It's usually worth spending the money to get 1 or 2 Reviver Seeds. Although, people overrate the utility of Reviver Seeds, which is kind of weird to say. Because, I mean, Reviver Seeds are obviously extremely fucking useful, and you should always have, like, 2 or 3. I more so mean you have all the exaggerated memes where people are like, oh, look at me, I got a fucking 79 pages of Reviver Seeds so I can fight a boss, and I'm gonna chew through most of them, like... I mean, those are obviously just, like I said, exaggerated memes, but if you've played these games before, and you know what you're doing, like... I remember years and years ago, playing this Darkness in, like, fucking... Oh my god, like, 2017, I think? And I remember I just played through the whole game, like, a single weekend, and I remember, like... My player character never had to eat a single Reviver Seed for the entire playthrough, because I just played my cards right and just never ended up dying. Like, you can easily avoid death if you know what you're doing. People complain, like, this game is a roguelite, you know, whatever the fuck rogue-esque you want to call it. It has RNG mechanics. A lot of people talk about how unfair this game is, and, like, you know... Maybe not how unfair it is, but there's stuff like traps that can just fuck you over later on, but... My point is... Part of the difficulty of this game is, like, there's gonna be a randomness aspect that can fuck you over if you're unlucky, and a lot of the game, and getting good at it, is preparing yourself well enough to mitigate this. Like, if you prepare well enough, then the odds of you just getting screwed over by randomness is extremely, extremely, extremely low. I mean, it's more relevant in, like, a level reset dungeon, where there you might actually just get fucked over by randomness because you just don't get any good items or something, but in the main games, even the more difficult main dungeons... Like, again, if you prepare well enough, you will probably be okay. Except for a few instances, like, fucking, you have shit like Concealed Ruin, Needle Queen, just murdering you with Earth Power. Like, that one is pretty hard to deal with, but a lot of stuff, like, you know, oh, I stepped on a trap and I, like, got teleported or something. Like, if you're well prepared enough, it'll be a bit of a struggle, but you can definitely get back to your partner character and just be fine. As opposed to, like, if you just bring, like, 3 pages of Reviver Seeds and, like, an apple and a fucking, like, rock or something, and you get teleported like that, yeah, one of you is probably just gonna die at that point, but... That's a lot of the difficulty of this game, is just learning how to use items well. Yeah, there's a Reviver Seed and a gummy in there, but... I'm so broke I can't afford them. Anyway, energy ball. That would be a really, really good move. Well, an energy ball is actually a little redundant, because Chikorita already has Razor Leaf. I don't know. Moves that are conventionally good, like, if you play Mystery Dungeon, you probably fucking know this, but moves that are conventionally good in the mainline games are rarely as good in this. I mean, you have, like, staple moves, like Ice Beam, which are really, really good and commonly used in the mainline games. But in this game, Ice Beam is pretty underwhelming because it has a very low amount of PP, and it's just a ranged move. But there's a bunch other better ranged moves, and, like, move power rarely matters. Like, the moves have an internal base power number, like in Pokemon, but if you look at the stat screen for a move, it just gives you, like, a vague star rating, which I don't think even necessarily lines up with its base power, like, number. I don't know, but the point is, it's not really important. Like, in, like, you know, in mainline Pokemon, if you had to choose between using, like, fucking, I don't know, like, Leafage, I guess, and Energy Ball, like, yeah, Energy Ball is clearly just better. Whereas in this game, something like, I guess, Razor Leaf and Energy Ball, or, like, fucking Bullet Seed and Energy Ball, like, the line is a lot more blurred there, and I could say Bullet Seed's probably just better than Energy Ball, right? Despite Energy Ball being a conventionally good move, or, like, you know, something like fucking, like, I'm trying to think of a really good example. I don't really know, but, I mean, in Mystery Dungeon, you can get early moves like Scratch, and just keep them for the entire game, and they will just stay a useful, just neutral damaging move, as opposed to mainline Pokemon, where you just want to fucking get rid of Tackle and replace it with a new, like, an actual move immediately. You don't really have to worry about that in Mystery Dungeon. And that's kind of the appeal of Mystery Dungeon, is that so much more stuff is viable, I feel like. A lot of the appeal of this game is the fact that, like, literally almost every Pokemon in the game is very viable and can be really strong. Which is not remotely the case in mainline. Not even just in a competitive sense, even just playing through the single player. There are some Pokemon that are just obviously really bad, and Pokemon that are obviously really better, like way better than others. That's not as dramatic in this game, I don't think. Yeah, as you can see here, I mentioned this last time, the Scarf and Bow are no longer equipped to us. It really fucking sucks. Anyway, something else you might notice, if you've played Sky, you know, you can press A on this thing and you can save your game right here. Hey, it's not working. What the fuck? Yeah, you cannot save your game here in Time of Darkness. You can only save if you run all the way into the guild and go to your bed. It sucks ass. Especially because the save times are a lot longer. Also, there's a rock here. That's nothing out of the ordinary. Yet. We're also allowed to go down here. Another thing that's missing from Time of Darkness, yet another one. First time you come down this path in Sky, a Krabby NPC will appear and basically tell you the bottles can wash up on the beach. It's not a feature yet. There are no bottles on the beach yet in this game. Are we allowed to go in here? Funny. No, bottles never wash up on the beach, which means there's basically no reason to ever walk down to the beach, other than just, you know, why the hell not? There's already several differences. And the worst is yet to come, I have to say. Speaking of saving, let's quickly go do that, because if we end up dying, I don't feel like sitting through a bunch of cutscenes. Oh boy. Look at that, saving. God, I don't even know what I'm saying. Again, I was really not kidding. It takes forever to fucking save. It sucks. I can only say that so many times. It fucking sucks. Let's get a move on. Show me the way, Bidoof. Yup, yup. I was gonna say, I forgot, I definitely remember this scene where they switch out the, you know, missions here. I thought it was going crazy because I thought it happened sooner, but I guess not. I find it kind of amusing that they spend so much time on this scene and have the whole animation and, like, explanation as to how they put new, like, jobs on the board. And I'm gonna be real, I feel like it's only here to justify Dugtrail's existence in the guild because, like, I mean, like, I'm gonna be real, this is another complaint I have with the story. After the first half of the game, all of the guild members are completely fucking worthless, and they basically aren't even characters, and they just have no purpose in the story at all, and they just get obsoleted by the new characters that show up. And, like, even aside from that, Doug Trio pretty much just does literally nothing except do this in this cutscene. Fucker gets paid more than me just to flip a board once a week. Piece of shit. Anyway. I find it funny they put so much time into, like, showing a scene like that and explaining that, and then, you know, stuff like I was saying, the fucking 90% tax you have to put up with in the previous episode, like, they don't really address that at all, and, like, they don't really consider the complications that would bring into the world. Yeah, I wish this game, I mean, everybody loves this game for its unique and, like, cozy atmosphere, and it's, like, kind of medieval setting of the Pokemon, but, like, I really wish the devs put more care into the world building. I'm not sure they were aware of the reputation this game would get, though, because, like, you know, the original Mystery Dungeon games, they reviewed well, and people really liked them. I assume they reviewed well. They definitely reviewed better than Sky, that's for sure. Like, I don't know. I don't know if they were aware of just the kind of reputation the Explorer series would get, because to this day, you have people, like, hyping up Explorers and talking about how it's one of the best games. Like, I mean, fuck, this is completely unironically, I think this is probably one of the best Pokemon games in the entire Pokemon series. Like, and I don't just mean, like, in spin-offs, no, it's probably better than, like, most of the mainline games, although I'm extremely jaded, and I kinda hate on the mainline games a lot, because I just play them so much, and I've just been so fed up with them. But, like, I think it's like Mystery Dungeon game is very high up there. I think the best of the Pokemon games in the whole series, it's probably gotta be, it's probably Stadium and Stadium 2, mostly Stadium 2. I won't go into that too much, because I could literally, like, talk about that game until I run out of breath and asphyxiate and die, and how much I love it. But it's probably, unironically, the best game in the entire series, and the game's also very, very good. Despite its flaws, this game is not perfect. I think people go a little crazy and say this game's like a fucking beautiful, perfect 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Like, it's not. Calm the hell down. I really like it too, but this game has its issues for sure. Even Sky does. It fixed a lot of the issues that were in Explorers that were honestly inexcusable, like, you know, the whole Hell Item thing I was showing, but, like, these games are not perfect, but I still love them regardless. Anyway, so the gummy, let's just that. It's a little harder to gummy max in this game compared to Rescue Team, because in Rescue Team, how gummies worked is that when you eat one, the color of the gummy compares to both of your types. Like, one after the other, assuming you're a dual-type Pokemon, which means Pokemon like Wooper, that eat a grass gummy, both water and grass are weak to, water and ground are weak to grass, sorry. Which means it gets, like, a shitload of points out of eating one of those gummies, or, like, if it eats a blue gummy, it gets a bunch of points because it matches the water type, and because ground is weak to water, which means he gets a whole bunch of points if he eats a gummy. They changed that in this game, so it only, like, it compares to your types properly. So, like, you know, you get the bonus points if you, like, if Wooper ate a blue gummy in this game, it would only get, like, you know, the points because it matched the water type. It wouldn't get the bonus points because it also considered ground. So it's harder to get gummy points in this game, like IQ points. And, oh yeah, you learned Poison Powder, didn't you? We definitely don't need you to be using that. So this Spinarak has Poison Powder and Scary Face. What the hell? I was mentioning Runaway last time, and you'll probably actually get to see it this time. No, it actually died. Yeah, like, if you've played this game, you probably know, you know, enemy gets Runaway, and they, as the name implies, they just start running away. Now imagine that's your partner that starts running away from you. Like, yeah, no fucking thanks, man. I don't think I want to do that. What I do want to do, though, is spend as much time as I can in this dungeon just getting XP and killing enemies, because I'd say the upcoming boss fight at the end of the dungeon is probably, like, it's one of the hardest boss fights in the game, mostly just on the, like, based on the fact that it's such an early boss fight, which means at this point you're pretty weak and you don't really have any good moves. You really have to rely on the items to give yourself an edge. And your inventory is pretty small at this point as well. Oh shit. Irida just took a whole lot of damage there. You got a Reviver Seed though. I didn't realize I haven't seen a single Oran Berry all this time. Weird. Don't need 2 XI seeds, I don't think. Oh yeah, well there's an Oran Berry right there. Another important thing that is not in Time and Darkness when it is in Sky, there are no lookalike items, which means like the Oren Berry or like fucking Revisor Seed, those aren't in the game at all. Another important thing is I forgot to equip my fucking held items like I said I would. Jesus Christ, do you see how annoying that is? I completely forget it's a thing, and so I go through like several floors of the dungeon without it. Jesus, ugh, it sucks. Yeah, there goes Doduo running away. Again, imagine how annoying that is if that's your partner trying to run away and like screwing you over. Like, Eevee, not very good. Although, of course, if you're picking Eevee as your partner, you're either a furry or you're, like, you know, gooning to it. Probably both if you're a furry. Not jokes aside, I'm kind of, like, throwing stones in my glass house, because when I was a kid, I absolutely fucking loved Riolo and Eevee, and I thought they were, like, the greatest Pokemon ever, but as I've gotten older, and more jaded and cynical, I don't care for them so much. I mean, they're, like, okay. I'm pretty fucking over Eevee, though. I think most of the evolutions kind of suck. I only really care for, like, Flareon and Vaporeon and, like, I guess Leafeon. And I think Lucario's kind of fucking ugly, but I still like Riolo as a design. Alright, let's just eat some vitamins real quick. Give myself the defense and attack ones. Okay, keep moving. The Starleaves are, like... Starleaves are the scariest enemy here, because they have Quick Attack, which is strong. They have Wing Attack, which really fucking hurts, because Wing Attack is decently strong, and it has Stab, so, like, you can get torn up really fucking bad by Wing Attack if you get hit by that. Gotta go through so many scratches. You gotta look out for the Starleaves. Otherwise, nothing else in the dungeon is a big deal. The Spinneracks are pretty annoying, just because they slow you down all the time. Yeah, look at that. All the enemies in this dungeon have about 30-ish health, and you can see, despite it being a quadruple resist, like... That Spinnerack still took 17 damage from that. It still took a decent chunk of damage from a quad-resisted move, and it's because Razor Leaf is a stab move, because Chikorita is a grass type, like... I was not kidding before, like, stab is super, 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 super fucking important in this game. It's so strong. And speaking of being really strong, we got our own stab move. So, if you played the later Mystery Dungeon games, that being Gates, Super, and RTDX, you know that you can hold down the L button and just get a display of all of your moves and pick which one to use. Not how it works in the 2D games. You can set a move, like I've done here, and it makes it so if you hold L and press A, you just use whichever move you set. Which means you only have quick access to one of your moves, and something I found out when I was younger playing this is the best thing you can do is whatever your next most important move is, set it to the top of the move menu. And what you do here, something I found is, you press X to open the menu, obviously. If you press X again, then no matter what menu option you're highlighting, it'll actually go to the moves menu. And if you continue pressing X here, it actually functions as A. Which basically means what you can do is if you want to quickly use the topmost move on your list, just hit X a few times and you get this. So, that's something I found out when I was younger. Even though there is no, like, hold L to use any move shit, you can still very quickly, like, use the moves you want. It's very interesting. Keep eating these gummies, by the way. Also got Doduo picked up the big apple. Let's go try to steal that. And we also got +1 special attack. Nice. I believe eating gummies in a dungeon, I want to say it's just a random chance that you will gain a stat. Just you can get +1 to a random stat if you eat a gummy in a dungeon. And in Explorers the Sky and Spindus Cafe, I believe you're guaranteed to get a stat up if you like make a drink out of a gummy. But, well, even if we were playing Sky, we don't have access to Spindus Cafe yet, so no point in worrying about that. Really good items. Another Reviver Seed. We're gonna want the Reviver Seeds for Drowsy. Drowsy is a tough boss. Fucking... First of all, this is only the 3rd dungeon, so it's weird that we're seeing Nidorino, an evolved Pokemon. Second of all, this is something that bugs me so much. Like, Nidorino and Nidoran male are, like, pink for some reason instead of purple like they're supposed to be, while Nidoking is correctly purple. And this bugs me because there's several Pokemon in Rescue Team, most notably, like Cyndaquil, who have color mistakes, which got fixed in this game. But not Nidoran male and Nidorino. No, they were already the wrong color in Rescue Team, and they didn't even fix it for Explorers. I don't even think they fixed it for Sky. It's fucking strange. Very weird stuff. Alright, going, let's just Yeah, get that motherfucker. Nice XP. Something, in case you weren't aware, if you kill a Pokemon and you hit it at least once with a move, you get bonus XP from it, which means you want to pretty much always be using actual attacks to fight Pokemon, as opposed to just using items or hitting the A button. Although, of course, if the Pokemon is weak enough, you do want to just hit the A button to get them out of the way, pretty much. But you definitely want to be using moves a lot. Yeah, it's just important. Only 74 damn, we're broke. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, that didn't do anything. What the hell? Oh, you know what? It's because I have the defense scarf, I bet. The 32 defense is really high for this point. If I wasn't wearing that, that would have, like, that wing attack would have done a shitload of damage. Speaking of a shitload of damage, look at that. I'm not kidding. Stab does not fuck around. You just destroy stuff if you hit it with a stab move. And, you know, and then you use stab move and it misses. Look at that, 50 damage. Like, that's crazy for this point. What's also crazy is that I am now poisoned. Do I have any Pecha Berries? Well, this is kind of what I get for just getting rid of all of them, but... you know, fuck it. Just... let's eat an apple. I'd rather have the Reviver Seed. I don't really mind that I'm poisoned. Let's just go to the stairs and move on. There we go. Let's see here. Cherry Berry. Funny thing is, as you can see, if we can demonstrate this real quick, let's just drop this apple. If you pick up an item for the first time, you see it gives this little tooltip. The funny thing is, it will always do this the first time you pick up an item, regardless of which point in the game you're actually at, and curiously, like, if you get a cherry berry through other means, like you get it as a mission reward or something like that, I don't fucking know, like, it'll only display the tooltip when you pick it up off the floor in a dungeon, which leads to funny stuff where, like, I remember one time I was playing this game in the past, and I was, like, more than halfway through the game, and I picked up a Violent Seed for the first time, and it still gave me the tooltip, despite the fact that I'd, like, earned several as mission rewards and had been using them, or, like, I remember as a kid playing Rescue Team and being in Sky Tower, like, the literal final dungeon of the story, and, like, picking up a cherry berry, and it's like, oh, did you know if you pick up a cherry berry, you will cure paralysis? And I'm like, yeah, I did know that, actually, you know. Thanks for fucking sharing that with me in the literal final dungeon, man. I don't know what I would have done without that information. Just, silly stuff. Anyway, who's that? Get this fucker. The Nidorinos are so tanky in this dungeon, and they have Peck as well. They can really hurt. Didn't use Razor Leaf? Come on now. This is a very interesting video that explains... There's several interesting videos that explains the AI of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. We'll link them in the description. I highly, highly recommend watching them. They explain all the intricacies of how the AI makes its decision-making. Really fucking interesting shit. And knowing it is very helpful. I feel like, a lot of enemies here. Like, a huge complaint people have with Mystery Dungeon is that the AI is dumb as fuck and it makes the game really hard. And the thing is, the AI is kind of dumb, but a lot of getting good at the game is doing what I've done, just playing the game since I was, like, literally a fucking kid. Obviously, and, like, once you play a lot, you kind of start to pick up on the mannerisms of the AI, and you start to be able to predict how they can move. And videos like the one I mentioned and linked in the description, please go watch it, it's really good. Like, videos like that explain exactly how the AI works. Like, I mentioned before that a lot of the difficulty in this game is in proper item and resource management, but another part of it is understanding the AI and playing around it. Like, one of the very first things I did was disable, like, Growl and Poison Powder on my Chikorita, and those are really important things to do. I was going on this whole tangent because I was commenting on how Chikorita wasn't using Razor Leaf. I guess it's just because it ran out of PP for it. Fucking oops, I'm a dumbass. But no, like, people complain about how dumb the AI is in this game, and it's so painfully obvious that, like, the reason they think this is because they've never messed with the tactics menu, or they never messed with the IQ menu, or they never toggled moves. Like, a huge, huge, huge part of this game is microing your party members to get them to do what you want them to do. And I feel like that's part of the reason the game is so fun to me, is learning how to manipulate the AI, like, allies and enemies into doing what you want and taking advantage of it. That's, like, that's what feels what, like, a big part of the rewarding feeling this game gives me, I feel like, for playing it, is you feel smart when you understand how the AI works and you're able to work around it, and able to get it to do what you want. I probably should have given that to... It doesn't really matter, because I believe when we get to the boss floor, we're getting a full heal anyway. You know, a big part of this game is just understanding the AI, and I feel like that's why people complain about this game and say, what the fuck, this game sucks, just, you know, AI is dumb, it's too hard, like... You gotta put in the time to learn how to play the game, you know? Like... I don't know, I just get upset when people say they don't like this game from, I don't like it when people say they think the gameplay is bad, and it has some problems, that being most boss fights being trivialized by items. Keyword, you know, most boss fights. But, like, I don't know, even despite its problems, I love this game. I can only say that so many fucking times without getting repetitive. We don't need this heal, I don't think. Yeah, like, it's just such a big part of the game. I wish more people, like, got it in a way. I don't really know how to say that without being pretentious, but it just makes me sad when people are like, oh yeah, I love PMD, but I can't stand the story, or I can't stand the gameplay, I only love it for the story. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, it just makes me upset. Anyway, this is my Let's Play, which means I get to be a fucking autist and yap on and on and on and on and on about the gameplay all I want with nobody to tell me what the fuck, you know, the gameplay sucks, talk about the story. No. Fuck you. No, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just yapping a lot. This is my Let's Play. We're gonna talk about the gameplay, and you're gonna like it, and I'm gonna unleash my decades upon decades of, like, just sheer fucking autism from playing this game onto you. And you're gonna love every second of it. I don't even know what I'm saying, man. I'm just being a dumbass. Anyway, eat it, why the fuck not? It doesn't matter. It sucks that you don't get an inventory increase until after this dungeon, because only 2 pages of inventory is fucking brutal. It's like one of the biggest criticisms people have with Rescue Team, that you only have 20 bag slots. In this game, you start with only 16 bag slots, so it's even more brutal. But after this dungeon, that gets fixed. Anyway, Mount Bristle Peak, we made it. Wow, holy shit. I completely forgot to mention this, but extremely astute viewers will notice that the entrance to not fucking Mount Steel, this isn't Rescue Team. The entrance to Mount Bristle, and a whole lot of the other dungeons, there was a little cutscene where you enter and your partner's like, oh, we're at fucking Mount Bristle or whatever, let's go in. Like, extremely astute viewers will notice that a lot of those backgrounds are actually different in Explorers of Time and Darkness compared to Sky. They redrew a whole lot of them to look a little nicer. Some of them are minor changes, some of them are very major and noticeable changes if you compare them side by side. Some of them are, like, just the same. But it's interesting, the things they decided to change in Sky compared to Explorers, like, it's interesting. There's, like, a lot of subtle changes, I feel like. I mean, the really big changes, like, you know, the missing features and some random glitches and stuff, but, like... And, of course, this is probably obvious, but there are no special episodes in Time and Darkness. People fucking love the special episodes in Explorers of Sky, but they are completely absent from this game. And I don't know how to feel about that. Like, people go fucking crazy over, like, you know, the Igglybuff special episode 2. And it's probably the best. I think it's the best of all of them. People go fucking apeshit over episode 5. I think that one was pretty overrated, although admittedly, that one and episode 4, like the Team Charm one, I actually didn't play those until, like... I didn't play those until fairly recently, actually, only a few years ago. Because, again, a lot of my time growing up, I was just playing Darkness and not Sky. And, like, when I did play Sky, it would be just on, like, a phone emulator, and I wouldn't get very far. Because I just, you know, was a fucking loser, but... Like, Special Episode 1, 2, and 3... Special Episode 1 is, like, okay. I just don't really care about Bidoof as a character. But it's got its moments and it's pretty fun. Special Episode 2 is probably the best, because the whole stuff with Igglybuff and Armaldo is just so well written and compelling, and they're just such likable characters. And it just has such good, you know... It's just really good, man. I'm not a critic, so I'm not a fucking expert, I don't know. Special Episode 3 completely sucks balls, because Sunflora and Loudred are 2 of the least interesting guild members, and also the gameplay of it is absolutely fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible. Like, if you... How the special episodes work for some of them, like Special Episode 3, the moveset Sunflora has is actually random, based on whatever level up moves it can have at that point, which means if you get a bad enough level up, like, if you get bad enough random moves, you can just be fucked. You basically need to save, like, a Bullet Seed TM and give it to Sunflora when you enter the episode to make it playable. Really sucks. Anyway, I'll talk about special episodes more a little bit after this boss fight time. I am just gonna eat the Violent Seed right now. Fuck it. And when he gets over here, Drowsy boss fight, the hardest part of this, well, one, he's fairly tanky, and he hits pretty decently hard. He can, like, two-shot you. The worst part about this is that Drowsy has Forewarn as its ability, which means there's a not insignificant chance that incoming attacks will literally just, like, fail to connect entirely. It will just dodge them. And if you get unlucky, you just get completely fucked over by this, and it sucks. It's pretty unlikely that you lose because of that, but it is really bad. Forewarn is a completely broken ability. Anyway, XI Seed, so... Yep, there it is right there. Drowsy relied on Forewarn to evade it. Fucking dodge tanking. Yeah, that's kind of what makes this fight more difficult, is just that dumb shit happening. At this point, though, let's just pepper him with attacks and hope he dies. 52 oh my god! It hits so hard. And he's dead. Oh my god! How's my damage this high? Holy crap! I mean, like, yes, stab is important, like I was saying, but I don't know how the fuck I'm doing that much damage. That's insane. That's actually crazy, man. That's really funny. That's like the quickest I've ever taken down Drowsy before. Oh my god, I just destroyed him. What was I saying? Special episodes, yeah. Episode 1, it's okay. Episode 2, probably the best one. Special episode 3, fucking actual garbage. Easily the worst one. On top of the gameplay of it being dog shit, Sunflora and Loudred are not interesting, and the story is extremely stupid. The fucking stupid Haunter gimmick is just, it's so dumb, I don't know what they're thinking. Special episode 4, I feel like people hate on that one, and it had the issue that the episode 3 does, where, like, the Pokemon that you get, like, Lopunny, Medicham, and Gardevoir, have random moves, you know, up to whatever level they are. They can just have random level up moves, which means you can get shit like Lopunny having Splash, like, yeah, okay, man. But other than that, I think Special Episode 4, this might sound crazy, but aside from 2, it's probably actually my favorite. I think it's really, really good. And it's because, like, I'm a gigantic PMD fan, right? Like, I'm a fucking, like, I'm a big PMD fan. I can only say it so many times. And so occasionally I'll, like, you know, read fanfic stories or watch their webcomics or something. I'm not afraid to admit it. You know, call me a fucking weirdo or a dweeb or call me, like, a queer or whatever the fuck. I don't care. I really don't give a shit. But, like, I will occasionally read webcomics or, like, fanfics or that kind of stuff. And I think, like, the reason why I really, really enjoyed Special Episode 4 is because it's, like, literally exactly what I want out of a PMD story, if that makes sense. Like, only a few dungeons long, so it's pretty short. It is just focusing on some characters who, like, the stakes are fairly small. It's just a, you know, it's just a team going out hunting for some treasure. And it's a story that, like, it has a satisfying conclusion, I guess. I mean, that's, you know, wow, guys, this story was really good because it had a satisfying conclusion. Like, that's not fucking saying anything. I don't really know how to put it into words, but, like, I really like Special Episode 4 just because, like, again, I feel like if I see a PMD fan work, that's exactly how I want the story to be structured. Just, you know, interesting characters, about as interesting in Team Charm gets, I suppose, and, like, you know, the enemy team. Like, low stakes, you know, they're, like, personal stakes, maybe, but it's not, like, the main story of the game where it's like, you have to do this or the whole fucking world's gonna explode and get frozen in time or whatever the fuck, like... No, it's just much smaller scale, you know, this team wants to go get a treasure, and, they want to do it because they're treasure hunters, so they want to get treasure, like... I don't know, I'm probably not making myself very clear, but I quite enjoy Special Episode 4, and it's one that people don't ever talk about. I mean, when people talk about Explorers, when Explorers fans talk about Explorers, they're talking about anything involving Grovyle, Selby, and Dusknoir, and they're talking about the second half of the story, and they're talking about Special Episode 5, and they're talking about Riolu and Eevee. They're not fucking talking about Special Episode 4 or 3, like... They don't give a shit. And, like, I don't know, I said earlier that I didn't have many nice things to say about the community for this game, and I'm gonna continue to not get into that, because I don't want to just rant for the whole rest of the episode and just say, wow, I love this game, but I think everybody who likes it is fucking stupid, and I'm way smarter than them. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Anyway. Yeah, Drowsy down. I was saying that Drowsy can be kind of a tough fight, and then, you know, I just kind of completely nuked him without even trying. That's the thing with this game, is a lot of the boss fights are absolutely trivial. As you can see, I threw the XI seed and made him eat it, and, like, he literally just gets entirely shut down and cannot do anything anymore. Like, he didn't even use a single attack because we just disabled him entirely. That's a lot of boss fights. Just throw a stun seed, like, eat a violent seed, crank your stats, and just kill them. Fucking, like, you know, throw an XI seed, now they can't move anymore. Use, like, I don't know, it. I guess a track doesn't really work because most of the bosses are legendaries, but, like, you know, there's so many ways to cheese bosses. I don't really know if it's possible for Mystery Dungeon to have bosses that are actually hard, because so much of the gameplay is using your really broken items to get out of stuff. And so, like, a boss fight, we're just fighting one enemy, like, you throw a seed at them, disable them, eat a violent seed, and then you just kill them in, like, 2 hits, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. I feel like for a boss to be difficult, it has to actually, like, like, you can't have a boss against a single enemy be hard, really. You have boss fights like Mewtwo and Rescue Team at the end of Western Cave, which, like, is not hard, because, again, if you're playing a Skitty, you just, like, use Attract, and you just stun lock it to death as you spam Leer and Double Slap and just fucking kill it. I don't know. I mean, Skitty's obviously just the most overpowered starter in Rescue Team anyway, but not like anything can't learn Attract in Rescue Team. It's not as bad in this game, like, the Pokemon, unlike in Rescue Team, I'm assuming you're aware that in Rescue Team, Pokemon have no genders, which means Attract will always work on them, and will just stun them in place for several turns. It still does that in this game, except Pokemon actually have genders now, which means you need to consider that, and it means a lot of the bosses are legendaries who have no gender, which means Attract doesn't work on them at all. So Attract can still be strong, but it is not the monster that it was in Rescue Team. My god, it's the Explorers of Sky title screen, the Underground Lake Time Gear. I'm gonna be real, I'm not really sure why they chose this of all things to be the title screen for Explorers of Sky. The, like, Underground Lake Time Gear, that's weird. And, oh my god, it's the Explorers of Darkness title screen. Fun fact about this Time Gear, this is not exactly uncommon knowledge, I don't think, but this Time Gear, I believe, is the only one we see that, like, there's no, like, we don't actually know where this is. Like, the previous 2 Time Gears we saw, I mean, fucking spoiler alert for a 20-year-old game that you've probably already played. Like, we see where those are later. We see the dungeons they're hidden in. But, like, this Volcano Time Gear, we never get an explanation for where this is, and we never see it. Interestingly enough. Also, is it just me, or, like, this is something I've thought since I was a kid. The weird, like, rune surrounding the Time Gear with, like, the little spikes on it. Is it just me, or does that just look like Anorith? Like, I don't know. I thought there was always something funny. It reminded me of, like, the weird little feather kind of things Anorith has. Probably just because Anorith is one of the very first Pokemon that you find in the game, of all things. Ironic because Anorith and Lileep are, like, fucking impossible to find in Rescue Team. They're, like, in Miscellaneous Water Dungeon number 9 at, like, fucking floor 70 plus. So you have to play for, like, over an hour to even get a chance to see one. It's like, what the fuck, man? Nah, I just think it's funny. The Time Gear rune looks a little bit like Anorith if you squint. Or maybe I'm just like a schizo, I don't know. Also, people go crazy over Grovyle, and he's like, they say he's the best character in the game, but I'm gonna be real, I have a hard time taking him seriously, because I think, mostly because of this scene here, I think the silhouette of Grovyle looks stupid. His head just looks like a dick. I'm just gonna say it. Like, his head looks like a fucking dick. He looks extremely goofy in the silhouette and not badass. Of course, in this little, right, what is it? Yeah, this shot right here, this is a really cool looking CG, obviously, but the little silhouette he has in the overcurl, I think, is just too dumb looking. I shouldn't get that hung up on it, because it's on screen for, like, 10 seconds, and you never see it again, but I don't know. Yeah, I was saying before that if I got any starter, it would have made me reset, would have been Trico's, because I think Trico looks fucking dumb, even though it's good. And also, this is a very autistic reason, but it's the fact that Grovyle is such an important character in the story, it makes me not really want to play as Trico, because, like, you know, Trico, I don't know, the Trico being, like, in the same evolutionary line as another important character is just weird to me. That's a completely nonsensical reason, I know, but maybe you know what I'm talking about. I'm getting sidetracked. That's it for this episode. Next time we will... I don't even remember exactly what happens next, but we'll figure out next time, so see ya.